out to you a little early. So for those of you that have access to your internet, you can look at this and then really crush the phone jam tonight. So we are in the biggest week of the fall campaign, and looking back at last year's results as a division, as an organization, and then for some of our local offices, it was the biggest week of the non-summer in some cases, but definitely the biggest week for the fall campaign. And we talked about why it's such an amazing sales week, but you know, the couple things going in our favor. Number one is that it is a push, that we've got people making extra phone calls and putting in extra effort, doing more demos than they normally do because we're all coming together next weekend up in Olean. And it's also that time of year where people are really thinking about the holidays. You've got people taking down their Halloween decorations, or they're starting to put up at least their Christmas decorations, which the combination of those two things leads people to start thinking, holy crap, I've got a lot of people I got to buy gifts for. And they're cooking a lot. We've got Thanksgiving coming up here in about 3 or so weeks, or 4 weeks, I guess. So people are starting to prepare dishes. They're going to have holiday parties with their work employees. They're going to have family get-togethers. They're going to have end of semester kids coming back from home or from school. So all those things lead to a lot of home cooked meals, which means a lot of knife use. So it is a great time to sell. So I wanted to get you guys the maximum amount of time to be able to make phone calls. And today's topic, I think, is really going to help you with regards to energy management. When we get together in Olean, we're going to start talking more about training and how to train representatives. But for now, the main thing to be working on, continuing to refine your interviewing skills. That will be the topic that you want to be focusing on before we get to Olean. We'll be reviewing the interview one more time, as well as talking about training and the steroid program that we have. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. But I want to talk about energy management on today's TLA. We're going to talk about energy management and the basics of financial vehicles that can save you money. So first things first, on energy management, you know, it's all about your disciplines and rituals. And I'm going to be sharing some of these with our next level group and our millionaire district managers up in Olean. But I wanted to talk to you guys about how do you give yourself the most amount of energy throughout the course of your day. And I really think that in order to effectively start your day, it begins with the night before. I was listening to a podcast this morning in the gym by a guy named Todd Durkin, and Durkin, I believe his name is Todd Durkin, not a pickle, but rather just Durkin. So you know, he is somebody who is considered one of the most top 100 influential people in the fitness community. He's Drew Brees' personal trainer, as well as was a finalist on many of the fittest people, the TV shows that were online or on. Well, some were streamed online, some were actually live broadcasted on TV. He's also somebody who has one of the most renowned gyms in the world out in San Diego, and is somebody that traditionally celebrities will go to when they're trying to cut weight, bulk up, get ready for a role. And and he's somebody who's super successful. Just came out with a book that I bought and will be here in 2 days, called the Wow Book, and it's basically motivational stories, tales, and sources of inspiration. And in his podcast, he talked about the importance of having the right nighttime rituals. And when I think about nighttime rituals, there are things that you can do that really set you up and cue you up for a successful morning and for a successful day. The first thing that he talked about was making sure that no matter what, 45 minutes before he went to bed, for him, his alarm goes off at 5 a.m. You hear me talk about that here in a little bit, talking about morning rituals. But for him, his alarm goes off at 5 a.m. And so he knows that he needs to get at least 6 hours of sleep in order to be performing at his optimal, level of energy. And so that may be 7 hours for you. It's probably not 8, but if it is 8, it may be 8. But I will certainly tell you it's definitely not more than 8. In fact, studies have shown that if you get more than 8 hours, your body starts to go into hibernation mode. And you may have seen this happen to you before when you lay down for a nap and you naturally wake up after 30 or 40 minutes or whatever, maybe 20 minutes, and you tell yourself, oh, I'm just going to sleep for a little bit longer. Well, a lot of times that little bit longer ends up killing all the energy that you have for the next several hours, because your body starts to get into that deep REM sleep, and then you interrupt it. So, so whatever your number is, whether it's 7 or 6 or 8, you set your alarm for that time that you want to wake up, and then set an additional alarm for when you need to go to bed. But what the top fitness instructor, Todd Durkin, says is that he actually sets an alarm in his phone that reminds him when to turn off his phone. Okay? It's actually a pretty ingenious idea, but there's a lot of there's a lot of stats and analysis out there that says the blue lights that are in your phone, the blue light light that pops up when you look at your phone at night, actually disrupts your nocturnal tendencies to fall asleep. I do love the fact that Apple has a setting that's called nighttime setting. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if you have an iPhone, you could turn it on your phone. It's called nighttime, and you actually set the time that you want it to eliminate blue lighting. For me, that it starts at 10 p.m. and it goes all the way to 7 a.m. Where that time of day, anytime, any day that I've got my phone on, it's got this kind of dark orange or light yellow background instead of the normal bright blue that wakes you up and actually causes your body to think it's daylight. So, so you set it on that nighttime setting. That will help you. But taking 45 minutes before you want to go to bed and turn off your phone. Watching TV / looking at videos on YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter or Facebook or any of those things. All that does is disrupts your body's natural ability to get good deep sleep. So 45 minutes before you want to go to bed, turn it off. Another thing for those of you that are in relationships, those that are married, I've heard a great longevity topic for how to have a successful, healthy relationship is to actually not allow any tablets, smartphones, or anything even enter into the bedroom. I know that may be kind of hard if you live in a 1-bedroom apartment or a studio apartment because your whole house is a bedroom. But can you at least put it in a different room where it's not just right by you to roll over and pick up? That's again simple thing that allows you it forces you rather to have a meaningful conversation with those you care about. Right? For those of you that are having trouble falling asleep, I'm sure many of you guys know that you've been in that situation where you're sitting there, you're watching one video that leads to another video that leads to another video, and then you look down and you just killed an hour or 45 minutes or 30 minutes. And think about that when you wake up every morning. What would you have given to have an extra 30 minutes or 45 minutes or hour of good sleep? Chances are you would take it back if you could. So just do yourself a favor, put the phone in another room. If you got a bathroom, put it in the bathroom, set on a loud alarm so it wakes you up and you actually got to get out of bed to go turn it off and have that happen. The other thing that he does 45 minutes before he goes to bed is once he turns his phone off or puts it in airplane mode or whatever else you want to do, he reads. He reads a book for 45 minutes, because what that does is it causes your mind to start thinking a little bit. It kind of decompresses, because if you're anything like me, when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, that's as soon as you're like, you're tired, then you lay your head down, all of a sudden, bam, all these thoughts pop into your head of what needs to get done for the next day, all the other shit, right, that comes into your mind right when you're finally trying to sleep. And it's like your body's and your mind's just trying to do a brain dump. Reading actually centers your mind and allows you to focus rather on the important things at hand, which is, again, just whatever topic you're reading, and make it be something personal growth oriented. After you do that, or if that doesn't work for you, another great topic that they talked about on the podcast was just a simple idea of writing down your critical things that you want to get done the next day. Just a simple act of writing that in. Maybe you use your phone, but after putting it in airplane mode, you open up your notes folder on your cell phone and you use it as a journaling exercise. And you say, okay, here's the 5 things I need to do, or here's the 3 things that I need to do no matter what tomorrow, so that at the end of the day, I could say my day was a win. All right. And so then that way you don't worry as you're falling asleep. You know what you got to accomplish when you wake up. You know what's important to you. And you go to bed the right way because you don't have a lot of distractors. So those nighttime rituals are really critical. Now on to the morning rituals for proper energy management. And then after that, we'll finish up with things to do throughout the day to make sure you've got that fuel and energy you need. So number one morning ritual that's so important. You've heard me talk about this 1,000 times, right? But you got to wake up when your alarm is coming off. You know, when your alarm is going off, can you actually give that to Caitlin? When your alarm is going off, you know, make sure that you answer it right away. And as soon as you get up, rather than hitting the snooze button, all that's going to do is it's going to cause you to reinforce that whatever deadline you set is not a deadline that really matters. All that snooze button does is it encourages you to kind of skirt the system if you can get away with it. So instead of doing that, when your alarm goes off, just simply hop out of bed. You hop out of bed, jump up, grab it, and then as soon as you jump up out of bed, you know, get into the habit of making it, right? Because as soon as you make your bed, you're not going to try to disrupt it. You're less likely to lay back down on top of it. Okay, upon making the bed, the next thing that you do is you know, if you're somebody that can do meditation. If you're somebody that doesn't do meditation, write down your gratitude list. Okay, journal for a couple minutes. Write down things you're grateful for, 5 things that you appreciate. The next thing that you do after that is drink a bunch of water. Get water in your system. Water works as a natural wake up, you know, and also allows you to kind of cleanse some of the toxins that have been sitting in your body overnight. So drink a bunch of water. If you need a little bit of coffee to wake you up, that's fine. Try not to pump it full of sugar and creamer, but get that water in your system. Then do something physical, activity-wise. That means walking your dog for 10 or 15 minutes. Do that. If that means that you need to, instead of walking your dog for 10 or 15 minutes, that means that you need to, you know, go for a run for 10 or 15 minutes. Do that, but do something physical to wake up your body. You've got your breathing patterns down. You've got your workout patterns down. The next thing that you got to do is make sure that you have some sort of carefree time to yourself where you're sending out a text message or doing something. Now, don't do this first thing, but send out a positive, appreciation text to somebody you care about, or watch a motivational video, or do something there at the beginning that kind of, again, gets you in the right frame of mind. And then that will start your day off with the proper amount of energy. As you're going through the day, another big critical thing about going through the day with energy is to make sure that you're not eating fast food. Guys, the more that I read about it, the more that I sit here and kind of have changed away from it. And I think back about my healthiest, most energized moments in my life. It was times when I was eating the right types of foods. But guys, fast food weighs you down. It's got a lot of preservatives, got a lot of other things in it that's not going to help you perform at your peak state. It's not going to help you perform as the best version of you. Okay, so pack your lunch. Okay, if that means that you you pack it the night before by making it the night before, make that part of your nightly rituals. Put it in your lunch box, put it in the fridge, do whatever. But pack your lunch, pack healthy snacks, because that will keep that energy going throughout the day. And instead of actually sitting there with having no energy and eating something unhealthy that's going to weigh you down and zap energy from you, eating healthy foods will end up making sure that you get everything done that needs to get done, and you'll have the energy throughout your day. Okay. The next key to having sustained energy throughout the day is making sure you're standing up. Sitting down, laying down, doing anything from a couch or slumped over, your posture actually keeps you awake. Keeping your room cold also keeps you awake, right? Turning the lights on in rooms that you're in